When the narcissist knows you will never come back, they secretly
She really
do
left
this.
forever?
Have you ever wondered what happens inside a narcissist when they finally realize your silence is permanent and you are never coming back? Most people expect anger, revenge, or complete indifference. But beneath the confident mask, something much more complicated often begins happening. When a narcissist loses someone they once controlled, the biggest wound is not always losing the relationship itself. It is losing access to the attention, validation, and influence they depended on. Today, we will uncover the hidden behaviors narcissists often display when they realize they can no longer pull you back into the same emotional cycle. One of the first things they may do is secretly monitor your life from a distance. They might stop contacting you, but they still look for signs that you miss them, regret leaving, or are struggling without them. Your happiness can become confusing for them because it challenges the belief that you needed them to feel complete. The less they know about your life, the more their imagination tries to fill the silence. Another common reaction is rewriting the past. Instead of facing their own mistakes, they may create a story where they were the victim and you were the problem. This protects their ego because admitting the truth would require accountability and self-reflection. They may repeat this version of events so often that they begin believing it themselves. When they accept that you are truly gone, some narcissists quickly search for a new source of attention. This new person may not be about deep connection, but about replacing the validation they lost. The fast replacement can feel painful because it may look like you never mattered, but often it is simply a way to avoid facing uncomfortable emotions and the loss of control they experienced. Another hidden reaction is competition. Your healing, success, and happiness can remind them that you survived without them. Every achievement becomes proof that their influence was not as powerful as they believed. Instead of feeling proud of your growth, they may secretly struggle with the fact that you became stronger after leaving. Some narcissists also hold on to memories, but not always for the reasons survivors hope. They may remember moments when they felt admired, important, or in control. They miss the emotional benefits they received rather than truly understanding the pain they caused. That is why memories alone should never be mistaken for genuine change. Perhaps the most confusing behavior is when they appear completely calm after losing you. Many survivors wonder if that means they never cared. But emotional silence does not always mean peace. Sometimes it is simply avoidance. Instead of facing guilt, loss, or self-reflection, they may disconnect and convince themselves they do not care. Real healing requires accountability, growth, and honesty, something a narcissist often struggles to face. The moment a narcissist realizes you will never return, they are forced to confront one painful truth: they no longer have control over you. And for someone who built their identity around control and validation, that realization can be far more difficult than they ever expected. Your silence is not just the absence of your voice. Sometimes it is the moment they finally realize they lost access to the person who once gave them power. When a narcissist realizes you are never coming back, something inside them begins to change. The thing they fear most is not rejection. It is becoming completely irrelevant in your life. For someone who depended on controlling your emotions, your peaceful silence can feel more painful than any argument ever did. Anger still proves they matter. Conflict still keeps them connected to your emotions. But when you heal, detach, and stop reacting, they lose the emotional power they once had over you. Your calm independence sends a message they never wanted to accept. Their control is gone. Some narcissists respond by rewriting the story in their own minds. Instead of accepting that you finally saw through the manipulation, they may convince themselves that you were the problem. They may call you difficult, overly emotional, or impossible to please, because admitting your growth would challenge their fragile self-image. But their criticism is often less about your character and more about protecting themselves from uncomfortable feelings. Understanding this helps you stop carrying the weight of their words. Another common behavior is testing whether they still have access to your emotions. They may check your social media, ask mutual friends about you like an old photo, or send a random message after months of silence. These actions are not always about love. Sometimes they are simply trying to discover if they still have influence over you. Even a small emotional reaction can reassure them that the connection is not completely gone. That is why strong boundaries often speak louder than long explanations. When those attempts fail, many narcissists experience a hidden frustration. They may look confident and successful on the outside, but privately they struggle with losing someone they once controlled emotionally. Admitting that they hurt someone or lost their influence requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is something many narcissistic personalities avoid. So instead, they may hide behind distractions, attention, achievements, or new relationships. But avoiding emotional truth only keeps the same patterns alive. Many survivors hope the narcissist will one day regret everything and finally understand the pain they caused. Sometimes regret happens, but it is not always the deep accountability survivors hope for. Missing your presence is not the same as understanding your suffering. An apology means little without consistent change. Real transformation is shown through actions over time, not emotional words spoken after losing access to someone. The greatest thing a narcissist may never admit is this: your healing is the moment they truly lose their power. When you stop chasing answers, revenge, or validation, you take back the energy that once belonged to their control. Your boundaries become stronger. Your confidence returns. And your self-worth no longer depends on someone who constantly tried to make you question it. The final stage of healing is realizing that closure does not come from the narcissist finally admitting what they did. Closure comes when you understand the pattern and choose yourself. They may watch, wonder, compare, or even regret losing you, but their feelings no longer decide your future. The greatest victory is not making them suffer. The greatest victory is building a life where they no longer occupy your mind. And when a narcissist knows you will never come back, the hardest truth they face is this: they lost control of your story forever.